Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today I'm going to show you a Waves plugin you can use to boost your bass. It's going to take your bass from this to this in a very simple plugin. It's called Waves R-Bass. Let me show you what it looks like in Logic, but we're going to use it in FL Studio. Actually, before we even get to what it looks like, let's show you what it sounds like. So here's what it sounds like in this record. Listen for the bass. So here's before, without the plugin. Now here's with R-Bass, how full it is. Here's without, you can feel like we just sucked the life out of it. And here's with. So if you're like me and Waves just shows up as red in your DAW for some reason, I don't know why. So that's why I'm not showing you this screen in FL Studio. So Waves plugins do work in FL, but they've been messed up lately for mine. So what I'll do is I'll use it on my actual voice. So let's open up R-Bass, and you can hear, wow, I sound super boomy. Let me bypass it for now. So there are three faders you can use. The main one on the left is just how much harmonic content do we want? That's basically the question it's asking. How much harmonic content do we want? It's called intensity. Now we're going to base it. Now every sound is different. So if you have a kick drum that's lacking low end, you could beef it up at like 80 hertz and below. 80 hertz is where sub frequencies start, and then we work downward. So some key points you could use are 80 hertz. You just double click here and type in 80. You could try 70, 60, and 50 hertz to fill out the low end of your kick if your kick doesn't have a lot of low end. Okay, now if it does have low end, your job is not to like make it crazy, because then you'll start distorting. So don't overdo this. The point is we're trying to fill in where the sound doesn't naturally have that frequency. Okay, so you could switch this. Let's say your kick is super boomy, but it doesn't have like the punchy box sound. You could type in 200. I think this goes up to 250. Okay, so you can type in 200 to give you more of a rounded out kick. And that will give you that, instead of the boominess, it will give you the bass tone that you need. So you could hear it. I sound weird because I'm running through the plugin, but let me turn this down. Okay, so let's, oh, you know, we're on mono, that's why. All right, how do we reset this bad boy? Undo. Let's just open up another one. Okay, so you hear me on the one side because I have this in mono. Okay, let's go back. Let's open up Waves, and then let's do R-Bass. If you have other Waves plugins you want me to cover, I'll load those up for you guys. Okay, so see how instantly, without me touching it, it adds that low end to my voice because it's focused around 80 hertz. What happens if I drop this to 60? Now my bass is more boomy in that sub frequency. So if I hit my mic, you're gonna hear it because now I'm enhancing those frequencies. What happens if we go to 200? Now you get more of that boxy tone in my voice. So this is exaggerating the effect. But the point is, whatever your sound doesn't have, you can add it in with Waves R-Bass. So again, if I needed more like roundness to my voice, I might add in 100 hertz. So it adds more of that bassy car vibration type, radio host type frequency. So here's without, and then listen as I start talking, it's adding more and more of that low end until I sound like a radio host. Okay, and then you pull it back. So this measure in the middle is telling you how much harmonic content you're adding to the sound. Okay, so it's not only adding that fundamental frequency, it's adding harmonics as well. And that's what happens when you add more and more intensity. Okay, so it's filling out the frequency spectrum. You don't need to memorize that and be all geeky. The point is, if you have a kick, you can run it through here and make it sound harder. Let's use this in our Logic session. Even though I said FL, the only problem with FL in this case is my plugin shows up as red. I emailed them about it. They sent me on a rabbit hole, so I just have to respond to them, and I don't feel like it. But all you would do is just load this up in FL, put it on your bass element. I'm going to do it in our Logic project because the drums are more dry. So I cranked the kick. So first of all, we got to pull the kick back so it's not clipping. Okay, so we can tell we're clipping pretty heavy. So let's turn off our compressor. kick channel. I forgot we have two different drums. So let's solo the second half. Okay, so I'm going to my kick channel and let's add in Waves R bass. Again, I will do this in FL. It's just I can't show you the interface in FL, but I use this in FL. Okay, these plugins can be loaded up in all DAWs that accept VST and AU formats. Okay, so here's the plugin on the kick. I have to ask, what is the kick lacking? So it has a lot of punch. We don't really need much. Let's start at 250, just so you can get used to the tone of this plugin. I'm gonna exaggerate. Hear it adding that woo, woo. Slowly pull this down. Then you get that boxy tone. We're getting into that kick zone. Now we're clipping, so I'm going to pull back the intensity here. As I add the 50 hertz, the kick has its punch, but it has this rounded low end. It's not clipping or being obsessive. We're just filling out the sound. So that's how you use Waves R bass. Okay, you're not going to crank it and distort it. That's when it sounds bad, in my opinion. Okay, so I did that in FL using our bass element from Electra X. It just instantly made it bigger. Now it's louder, so we're gonna have to pull down the volume. But it's more full. Here's without. Here's with. Makes that bass feel bigger. Okay, so that's how you would use it. I'm not gonna make this video any longer. Thank you for watching. If you want more plugins, for me to go over more plugins, leave the plugin that you are curious about in the comments below and I'll make a video about it.